So hi everybody and welcome back to Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 41 and in this video I want to start to create an artificial intelligence. What I mean with that is it's just an AI who is following us, but of course you can make here an enemy monster, NPC friendly character or anything like that. And we are using actually the documentation side here, which is the behavior tree quick start. You can go through this one here and it is showing all what you need to create a character who is chasing you, who is patrolling and all this kind of stuff. And we will do this too. I will link this here in the description that you can read this on your own and don't have to follow my instructions here if you like. So with that said, we start here with the first section, which is just set up some basics, which is we go here to our character folder, in my case here, then you create here a new folder. I already created one and call it AI. This is this one, and here you can create again a folder. I have all made this what we need for this video here already, but we start from scratch here again, which means we create here in our AI folder a new folder and I call it AI2, and this one I don't need to. I start this one also from new. And then the first thing what we need is, like they said here in the setup, we have to we get a character who is our AI, and then here the controller for this one. They are copying the character, the player character here, so that you have already animations and a skeletal mesh. We are not doing this, and the reason for that is if I open up my character, I have already made here some logics and have set up functions. Then I have to delete all this kind of stuff as well. Instead, we are just going to our AI folder, right click here and go here to the blueprint class and just select a character. This character and your player character are actually the same thing, so that's why we just select it, call it AI, let's call it enemy, anything like you want. I call it enemy 2 and I open this one up, and you see the difference about this one is this one has nothing in it. I mean, the new one has nothing in it, so I have not to delete all the functions and all this kind of stuff. But on the other side, I have to set up a skeletal mesh and animation, because we have also no animations. But this is a good thing. Why? Because normally when you create an artificial intelligence, you want anyway set up the skeletal mesh. For example, if you have a monster, they have a different skeletal mesh. If you have an NPC, they have probably a human skeletal mesh. If you have anything else, the skeletal mesh you have to set up. And now we learn this as well in this video, how to do this, how to create the default skeletal mesh. So let's get started. Here is our character. It's empty. We go here to component section, select the first one, then go here to the details section and go to the mesh. First of all, we need to add a skeletal mesh. As I said, this is how it looks, not it looks like, but the skeletal mesh is also used for animation. So here you need one imported from the internet, what you like I said, a monster would be a monster skeletal mesh, NPC would be an NPC skeletal mesh. Like we can use the NPC, for example, the default SK mannequin, this one, and here's the simple one for mobile. I take the simple one here for mobile. It has a little bit less triangles, I think. And then you select this one, then we go and scale this, position this one, and you can see the positioning is not accurate. To make it more accurate, we can go here to transform here, and the location is -80 most time, I think, and then here on rotation -90. So this one is now facing forward, and you can see we have the skeletal mesh and the mesh itself. But the problem is, you can see here is no animation attached, so we have to attach animation. And this is the second problem. If you import a skeletal mesh or mesh from the internet, they have not all time an animation. This SK Many here, for example, the skeletal mesh from Many, it has already a built-in animation from created by Epic. But we have here just to add to attach it here in the animation section. You go here to animation section, anim class, and select here animation blueprint Many. So this one is set up, and this setup what we have here is actually the third person. If you start, for example, a third person template, it is exactly that what they set up here as well. And this is so the start position. But important is, if you make your own one, this animation blueprint class is not here most time. You have to create it, or anyone has created it for you, which means if there is no one, you have to create this one. And I opened this one up. It is just an animation blueprint class. Sorry. And you have to set this up. How to set up this animation blueprint class is another video. We are not going to do this right now, but it's not too difficult. There is also a very simple way. Anyway, important is, if there is not one, you create one. If there is one, you can just use it one. All right, with that said, one more hint is animation blueprint from the many here. This one you can attach to other humanoid skeletons as well. For example, if you import another skeletal mesh from the internet, it is not this one here, but it has a humanoid. Humanoid means just a human skeleton bone, similar. You can just attach this one with retargeting to the other one. There is a retargeting section for this one as well. But yeah, this is also another video. For this one, we just use now this and pretend we have already an animation blueprint, all this kind of stuff. And this one is now our enemy character. But this character here, we want not control ourselves. That's why we are going and create. We go first back to our folder. This is this one, AI2, and create a controller who is controlling this one. Important is to understand that we are not controlling it, so we have to set up anyhow that the controller knows how to control this AI. First of all, let's create the controller. Right click here, go to the blueprint class again, go here to the drop down. Important here, if you write controller, there are two controllers. One, this is the controller which we are used for when we are controlling, humans are controlling the character, so we, and this controller, AI controller, is that what the AI is controlling, which means we set up a configuration, the configuration is running and it is controlling our character. So select this one, very important. They look also different, very important. So, and then call it AI controller 2 in my case. And then you open this one up, you can see there is nothing, but we need, before we go on, attach this. Let's save first of all. We need to attach this one to our newly created character, so this character knows who is my controller. So we go back to the character class, we go select again here the top one, then we go to the details panel, and here we go this time to the pawn section, pawn. And in the pawn section, you can see we have here a special section which says AI controller class. And here, this is the default one. You are selecting now which you just created, the AI controller 2. The second thing here, which is also very important, is auto possess AI. This one here, which means AI will be possessed, and then this controller will possess this AI, but the options is here place in world, spawned, or place in world or spawned. In our case, we use just both, so we have not to think if I have already spawned it or it is just placed. So let's do this one here, placed in world or spawned. Then I think that's enough for this section, and we have set up the very basic. Oh no, there is one more thing. Of course, now we have created an AI. This one is my AI, and now the controller, we are not controlling this one, but this AI needs a special walk place. What I mean with a special walk place, when I press P, you can see here is something called a nav mesh, this green mesh, and this green mesh is representing where this AI can really walk. So this AI will not work here and also not outside, only where the screen mesh is. But the question is, hey, how we add this mesh? And this mesh here you have to add to your landscape or your platform or what you have by going here on top to this section, not to section, to this section. And there is volumes, I think, anywhere here, volumes, and here on top there is a nav mesh bounce volume. You select this one here, and then you place this mesh bar of volumes here, so scale it a little bit how far you want it. This, and I already have it. It can cause a problem now, but whatever. You scaled. Let's make this mesh volumes here on top for fun, because on the bottom I already have one. I place it now here on top. So, and now when you have it, let's say you have it. So important is that it can calculate this one. It must be not super big and so, but just so that it can calculate the surface of this here. And now if I press here P, let's press this one P as well. You can see now I have here also a possible place where the AI could walk, but this AI which I placed here will never walk here on top. Why not? Because you can see the AI would go here, stop here, can't go there. There is an advanced AI settings where you can say, okay, if you go here and then you have another place here, you can make a jump. So there is special settings, but this kind of settings we are not going to do. We make it just very simple settings, which is just one landscape. That's enough. But so you can see this one. All right, after you set this up, we are actually finished. Let's delete this one. Not this one on top. But this is all the first setup what we need. So again, I will link this here in the description. You can see that was our first setup. Of course, they are doing here a little bit more because they want make a petrol. So you can see they are changing also the speed a little bit, but that's only one step. And then we are finished with our first step, and you can see there are many steps actually. That's why I want that you read this a little bit through. I will not do all this kind of stuff because I want to just make a simple chase. And yeah, with that said, if you have any questions or any comments, write in the comment section. See you in the next video. Bye, good luck, and like all time, have fun and never give up.